Rapper, songwriter, actor, TV producer, entrepreneur, investor. 50 Cent was born July 6, 1975, as Curtis James Jackson III in Queensboro, New York. He was raised by a single mother, Sabrina Jackson, who was a drug dealer, and when 50 was 8 years old, he lost his mother in a fire. He was then raised by his grandmother, and by the age of 12, 50 was selling drugs as well. In 1994, as a high school student, he was arrested for selling drugs to an undercover cop, and he served 6 months in a boot camp where he earned his GED. In 1996, he was introduced to Jam Master Jay of Run DMC. 50 credits Jam Master Jay for improving his ability to write hooks. In 2000, he produced Power of the Dollar for Columbia Records. On May 24, 2000, a few days before the planned release of this album, 50 was shot in front of his grandmother's home, and the album was never released. While he was hospitalized, he signed a publishing deal with Columbia Records, but was soon dropped from the label and also blacklisted from the industry for his song Ghetto Quran. Unable to work in any U.S. studio, he went to Canada and began making his music through mixtapes. The use of the mixtapes helped increase his popularity and start up his mainstream career in music. In 2002, Guess Who's Back was released, and he was discovered by Eminem, who later signed him to Shady Aftermath Records with Dr. Dre, under Interscope Records. In 2003, Get Rich or Die Trying was released. This album debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200, selling 872,000 in the first 4 days. It was this year that Interscope gave 50 his own label, G-Unit Records. Under his new label, he signed G-Unit and the rapper The Game. In 2005, his second album, The Massacre, was released and sold 1.14 million in the first 4 days. This album was number 1 on the Billboard 100 for 6 weeks. 50 was the first solo artist with 3 singles in the Billboard's top 5 in the same week. From 2007 to 2009, he released 2 more records. Curtis, which was inspired by his life before Get Rich or Die Trying, and the album Before I Self-Destruct.
Dealing with multiple rap beefs which almost cost 50 Cent's life, and baby mama drama while writing songs at the same time would had 50 Cent spend more times in courtrooms rather than in the studio. Taco Bell was also using his name for cheap items on the menu, while ad agencies were using his image without permission. 50 Cent would win those settlements. However, things changed in 2008 when he was forced to sell his mansion he had purchased from Mike Tyson. After this, baby mama Shanika Tompkins had sued 50 Cent for child support. After that, he had another baby mother suing him for domestic abuse and vandalism. In 2013, he got into a beef with Rick Ross, a rapper from the South. Exposed Rick Ross as a former correctional officer, which 50 Cent had won the battle. But 50 Cent had crossed the line by leaking Rick Ross's baby mama sex tape to the masses, which went viral, and she took him to court, and she basically won the whole settlement, and he lost $7 million. After the whole incident, 50 Cent would have to file for bankruptcy.
50 Cent's relationship with Glacial and Vitamin Water began back in 2004 when the two collaborated to create a drink called Formula 50. It was also around this time when he became a minority shareholder in the company in exchange for becoming a spokesperson as well as advertising for Vitamin Water. However, as of 2007, Coca-Cola had bought out the company, which meant that he no longer had any stake in the company. However, this does not mean he left empty-handed, as being a minority shareholder, he made a whopping $100 million as a result of this deal. Other business ventures he had delved into was creating his own energy drink called Street Kings, SMS Audio, an electronic company that mostly deals with headphones, and a minority share with Effin Vodka.
Effin Vodka, which means smooth vodka in Dutch, has been around for quite some time. But it wasn't until they partnered up with one of the most polarizing artists, 50 Cent, that the vodka received most attention. The Holland-based vodka began working with the rapper 50 Cent in 2014, and immediately 50 Cent went to war. 50 Cent seeing over $60 million from this boycott. Allegedly, that's a major power move. The product is described as super premium vodka made from French wheat. G-Unit is an American nonprofit public foundation established by the rapper 50 Cent and his group G-Unit. The foundation provides grants to nonprofit organizations that focus on improving the quality of life for low-income and unserved communities across the United States. The main goal of the charity are to emphasize the critical importance of supporting academic institutions, to support the nonprofit organization that focuses on the academic enrichment of a child, and to support after-school activities. Cheetah Vision, a production company, was founded in 2009 by 50 Cent. The company produces low-budget action thrillers for foreign film markets across the world. In 2011, his business did branch out of the States and decided to take a more international and foreign approach for his film company. And establishing that company made him $200 million in 2011. The first film was Before I Self-Destruct in 2009.
50 Cent had a great number of profits and decline in profits from his businesses, as well as many investments and smart business moves. The 43-year-old rapper used social media influence to gain money on Twitter by convincing fans to buy H&H Inc. stocks. His company G-Unit brand owns 12.9% of H&H imports, which cost him to make around $9.24 million in 2 days, which was a huge improvement from the company's previous loss of $3.3 million and deficit and $198K in cash. 50 Cent peaked at his net worth at $155 million in 2015, but dropped almost $200 million because of the case with Lastonia Leviston for a leaked sex tape, who sued him for over $7 million, leaving him officially bankrupt. His bankruptcy was filed at $23.4 million. He has unsold real estate, like the Mike Tyson mansion, worth $18.5 million.
50 Cent became rich because of the smart business moves he was able to make. That would make him a good CEO, but for us, I believe that he would not be a good CEO because of how he lost his fortune and the wrong decisions it took for him to lose his fortune.
New York City, you are now rapping with 50 Cent. You gotta love it. I just wanna chill and twist the lie.